The full episode is now available on Patreon and YouTube memberships. Please see the link in the description for more details.
Before we wrap this up, Star Wars Visions Season 2. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw the trailer and I saw that they used a lot of CGI, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna skip this. But I'll tell you why. I hate CGI. Now, of course,
So explain to me, like, where do you see the separation between, like, regular animation and CGI?
I'm glad you asked, because I fucking hate CGI, right? Now, I'm 31. I grew up with like Toy Story and A Bug's Life. I think you were entering college as these fucking movies were coming out, but all the Pixar stuff and the DreamWorks stuff with Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, like I love that shit growing up. That is CGI. I love 2D animation. 2D animation is the Miyazaki films, Spirited Away, House Moving Castle, Nazca of the Valley of the Wind. That's the stuff I love. To me, that is anime, not this CGI bullshit. Growing up as a kid, we had Adult Swim. I think maybe you caught a couple of stuff. And on Adult Swim, they had the show Trigun. I loved it. Trigun was great. They have like a remake reboot coming out. Saw the trailer. It's in CGI. Nope. Skipping it. I fucking hate CGI. I get to Star Wars Vision Season 2. The first episode is all CGI, artsy-fartsy looking bullshit. In my personal headcanon theory,
okay,
I think the reason like the animators do like this type of bullshit CGI is because if the work is half finished, but they're like, it's artsy, fuck it, leave it in there. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of the CGI stuff was actually pretty good. It was pretty well done. The first episode, Sith, not bad.
So I'm with you. I didn't know, like, so I, for some reason, and maybe it's just the biases of like the time of like when we grew up, but I also don't like, generally I just don't like 3D animation. Generally I don't really like 3D video games. Like I'd rather have 2D side scrollers.
What?
Like I know. I think 2D side scrolling, like, I just like it better.
What's a 2D side scroller you like?
I mean, like Mario? Like,
okay,
like,
no, okay, but in regards to like, because for me, I have a different idea of what it is. But what's a 3D video game you didn't like?
Mario, like Mario Kart. Fucking,
what?
Like,
you crazy?
Yeah.
Mario Kart is great. 64, that's
like
the best one.
Don't like Mario
Oh,
Kart.
you're out of your mind.
It. I'm also not the even though I've played a lot of like the shooter stuff, I'm not a huge fan of the shooter stuff or like Portal or stuff like that. I just find it really disorienting.
Wait.
Like, some people are really...
You were in college in 2000, right? 2001?
I was in college in like the late 90s. So like we played like Marathon.
Doom?
And Doom, yeah, that was out. Wolfenstein 3D was out. Yeah, I played all that.
What about Halo? You never got into Halo?
Nah, I played a little bit of Halo. Don't really like it that much.
What? You're crazy. Halo that's my jam.
I don't know what it is. I just find like the 3D stuff like I admit, like when I see other people like playing the games, like now they're like the for a while it was because 3D stuff was cubish and it took me out of it, and I was just like, I just didn't like the look of it. Now I admit, when I look at something like what's the one that everybody's playing these days? The one that George R. R. Martin worked on,
Elden Ring. That's a bitch.
Elden Ring. When I see that, I'm just like, oh my god, that's beautiful. Like I admit it looks beautiful now. So maybe if I played video games now, like it would be more my liking. But you know, I always just felt it was like, I don't know, too disorienting and to play, and like in the early days just too cubish and fake looking. A lot of Uncanny Valley kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Lara Croft's titties were like fucking triangles. It's like yeah.
And so I just felt like I was looking at a bunch of blurry pixels and cubes. Like I was like, everything looked like Minecraft, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
So it was just so yeah, in general, like not the biggest fan of 3D animation. So yeah, so you're talking like the first, but the thing is now, if you're really talking about like using computers, like they use computers for all animation now. So even the 2D animation is all done on computers.
Right, but there is a very like distinct difference, which is, by the way, that's such a shame. You go back and you watch some of like the Blu-rays of like Cowboy Bebop from like the late '90s, and like the hand-drawn animation was so fucking good. And, you know, the Ghost in the Shell movie from the '90s looks so beautiful, and then you come to this stuff now, and it's just like, ugh, whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing because like I didn't realize that because Disney, you know, back in the day, you know, when they were doing Snow White and whatever, like that was all like each cell hand drawn, animated, and I didn't realize that a lot of their later animation, to save money, it was they would just trace over previous like scenes. So there's like exact same scenes in like say Robin Hood that appeared in like a previous, like in the Jungle Book, and they just traced over different characters to have the same scenes. I was like, oh my gosh! Like
they would also do this one thing
what you got to do
for Tarzan, where he's in the jungle. Like most of the jungle is like just a matte painting or whatever, and it's just Tarzan's the only thing that's like drawn. It's a shame too, because Disney, the last thing they did that I remember that's like a cartoon that they drew that I loved was Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was amazing, and Lilo and Stitch. Those are like the last two hand drawn ones. I'm sure if they've done anything else, I don't know about it. But now it's all Pixar. Everything is like which I like. You know, Pixar's cool. Moana was cool and all that. Like, you know, that's fine. But when it comes to like anime, I like that shit hand drawn. Like that's what I want. You know, and for the most part, whenever I see CGI that's supposed to be like anime, whatever, I let it go. I don't watch it. But this stuff, I gave it a shot. And the first one is called Sith. It's about a woman who's she's a former. See, this is what I love. I love the lore in some of these. I'm reading the Wikipedia thing. During the reign of the Sith, so we're in the reign of the Sith, okay? They're reigning now. They're in charge. Lola, a former Sith apprentice, has rejected the dark side and lives in solitude on a desolate planet with her droid E2, and she's trying to channel the Force into painting her base, which I think was a really cool concept. And eventually, you know, her former master finds her. They try to kill her, and a lot of it was
even that
very
synopsis.
Nice.
Even that synopsis. If you watch the episode, that synopsis does not come out.
It doesn't.
It's very clear. It's very clear that she's a painter, and she's painting. And then this Sith guy shows up, and then they fight. And you're like, okay, and that's it. And she's just weirdly, a lot of these episodes were voice acted by people whose English they're voice acted by people. Their English isn't their first language, which I thought was very kind of odd, you know?
I think they were going out. Season 1, I think, was mostly Japanese studios, and I think Season 2, they branched out to, like, studios all over the world. Because, you're right, in Episode 3, In the Stars, the two sisters, with the water, like, I feel like those sisters were Hispanic actresses. Because like the
same with Sith, like in Sith, I feel like the voice actor was not did not have a standard American accent.
You are correct. She's actually from Spain.
Yeah.
So episode 1 was great. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Actually, I wouldn't go great. I would say it was very good. It's very artsy, like the style. I hate that type of CGI, but they did it well here with like the style and everything. Okay. And when she leaves the base, the planet she's on looks super cool. Very nicely done. Episode 2, you said you liked it.
Episode 2, I don't know. I'm not sure if I liked it or not. Episode 1, I was actually pretty mid on. I was like, whatever. Episode 2, so the story of this one, I thought the animation was interesting, especially once she makes it to Screecher's Reach. So the plot of it is essentially this girl is getting messages telling her that she needs to go on this like mission to Screecher's Reach, which is supposedly this haunted place. And so she decides to go, and her friends go along with her because they're seeking out this like haunted house or whatever, this haunted cave. And they get there, and it seems like there's this like Sith ghost or something there. And she has to fight and battle the Sith ghost, which turns out to not be a Sith ghost. It turns out to be like an old lady
with a lightsaber.
Yeah. And then the person that was sending her visions like arrives and is like, oh, you've passed your test, and then like takes her off. And her friends are sad, and she looks back to her friends sad. And so like I finish it, I'm just like, did she just murder someone? Did she just like go into somebody's house and murder someone? Like that was fucking crazy. That was fucking crazy, right? That somebody like, but I don't know if they were playing it that way because it's Star Wars and things are like basic and simple, right? Especially these like short stories. Like the first story was pretty fucking basic and simple, and so this one I'm just like, am I supposed to think that she just like, that the person that's sending her the vision is the real evil person and that she just went in and murdered someone? Did you get that out of Screecher's Reach?
Yes, I got. By the way, in case you were wondering if all those kids sounded like non-English, they were all Irish. That's because the studio that did the whole segment, Cartoon Saloon, is located in Ireland. So they most likely got Irish actors. But yes, the reason
I think it added to the episode. Actually.
Oh yeah,
but continue. Yeah, because it gave it because we have this stereotype that like Ireland is a quaint little place with small towns, and like that was part of the part of like the feel, right? Anyway. But did you get...
Yeah, I got that feeling. And by the way, in case of the animation, I really liked it. But that's because I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, and this cartoon, like the way this feels, it looks like a lot like Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory. So I really like the feel of it. Apparently, the person who comes down to like pick her up at the end is known as the Sith Mother. So it's kind of dark in the sense where this was a Sith quest that this little girl embarked on unknowingly into like the dark side. So, and this is why I kind of like episode 2 quite a bit. It's because it reminds me of like cartoons from like the 80s where it was a children's show because it had kids and that's it. Everything else did not feel like a children's show. Like this felt like a darker like
this is a very crazy dark. I mean, of the ones I watched, like that one kind of like stuck with me the most, like, man, like when the old lady is like stuck under the rock and she's like trying to get her lightsaber and the girl like, takes it and then slaughters her. I was like, oh my god, like, geez.
It felt very Gendy Tartakovsky, very Samurai Jack-ish. Very like, that type of animation, which I really liked. So no, episode 2 was great. Probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
Episode 3, In the Stars. It was the sisters. That one was CG.
Don't like it.
You didn't like? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. No, it was just so basic. It was just so basic. It was, it's they're polluting my planet and we can't get water, but we need the stars to illuminate our paintings. You're just like, oh my god. Like, could this be, what is this, fucking James Cameron's Avatar? Like, come on.
Well, that was essentially episode 3. The Empire is causing a lot of pollution on the planet, and the alien sisters are trying to not really fight back, but somewhat survive. But eventually, the whole operation gets disturbed, and, it's basically what you said.
Yeah. The animation is messy, too. A lot going on. It's very different.
Episode
4.
Episode 4.
This is the one that's in the Wallace and Gromit animation style of like claymation. Yeah.
So season 2 is a little weird because episode 4 and 9 are the ones that are like for kids. Like these are segments your kids would enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it wasn't for me.
Your kids have to get through a lot of freaking murder in order to get to episode 4.
That's true. But it's titled "I Am Your Mother," and it was cute. It kind of reminded me of Bluey.
Cute.
Have you been watching Bluey with your children?
I have not. Everyone says it's great. Everyone's recommending it, but I have not seen Bluey yet.
I've actually seen one segment of Bluey, and the one that I did see where it's Bluey's playing with Legos, and she has to clean up because her father is making a cake for their sister. It's actually, it was quite nice, actually. It doesn't, like, it's not like Caillou where, like, it teaches your kids to be assholes. Like, Bluey has some nice messaging about, like, understanding that your parents are people too, and that, you know, you have responsibilities, and blah, blah. It's actually quite nice, Bluey. And this segment was, I'll admit, I'm not in the target demographic for this segment, so I can't say it was bad. I can't say, like, I didn't like it. It was whatever. Like, it was clearly wasn't for me. Yeah. See, by the way, grifters who complained about Miss Marvel, this is how you, like, do that. You know? Sometimes it's not your demographic, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's bad. Right. It's not for you.
The MCU! Anyway,
MCU?
Continue.
Is that a thing they've said before?
Oh yeah, the grifters, they every time Marvel tries to market something to women, they complain about the MCU.
Are we never ever supposed to have female characters ever? Like, what?
No,
never.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Episode 5 was my favorite. That was the Miyazaki-looking one. Essentially, this young girl is born on this planet where there are Sith and Jedi statues facing each other. And every time raindrops fall on rocks, they pick it up and they can see visions of the future. Eventually, she grows up.
Also, that synopsis you would not get from watching the episode.
Look, I mean, I'm not even reading the wiki. This is what I remember because I really liked it. And basically, this is a time of, like...
That's the thing, is, like, I don't remember them explaining what the statues were. The fact that you got that there was, like, a Jedi and a Sith statue, I didn't understand. I didn't really, like... I got that, like, they were supposed to cut off the statues' heads. And they got up there, and instead of cutting off the statues' heads, they cut off the Sith guy's head, and something exploded in the middle. I wasn't really sure what happened at the end.
Well, I could explain that. So basically, on her planet, essentially, I love the lore. The state of the galaxy is at war with the Sith. Like, the Republic is at war with the Sith, and the Jedi are as well. And basically, she believes that cutting the head off the Sith statue can turn the tide of the war. Somehow. This is what she believes. So she goes to the Jedi Council when she's older, and she's like, look, I want to do this. It would be great if I had a Jedi to accompany me to help out. And so they send this little kid. And this little kid, well, teenager. They send this teenager with her, who's a Jedi.
Yeah, because the sexual tension is off the charts.
It's typical. It's that Miyazaki-ness. So you got to have that, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Japanese anime. They're like sexual tension.
I'll be honest, I didn't really get a sexual tension, but, like, there was a little bit of teasing, just a little tad bit of flirting, just a little bit.
Yeah. What? It was the classic, like, we hate each other, but we love each other. Like, it was classic. I hate you, why do I love you?
The Jedi send this teenage kid with her. Now, her whole goal is to buy some explosives to blow the head off the statue. However, the teenager they send, he has his own past. Apparently, he's being hunted by the Sith, who killed his master and wants him to be the new apprentice. So as they're fighting on the statues, the girl is trying to blow the head off of one of them. But then she realizes the age-old answer to light and dark, it's really kind of the same, kinda, just a different side of the same coin. Because as the sun illuminates, like, on the statues, she thinks she's blowing off the head of the Sith, but then it, like, changes colors and it's like the Jedi one. And she's like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And then the kid is fighting the dark side, the Sith guy, and cuts his head off, and they both fall. It was very Howl's Moving Castle Miyazaki, and I really liked it. I love the lore. Yeah. The visuals were great.
I liked that. I mean, you know, these are short episodes, so it's just like, I did like how, okay, they have a mission. I know what the mission is. Like, this is what it's about. They've got to cut this head off the statue. Like, that's kind of interesting. And the design of the statue and everything up there was very cool. I loved the animation. It was a very good episode. Even though I wasn't quite sure what was going on. There was a little pun that I kind of liked in the middle. So, like, it rains, right? I think one of the reasons they think they're going to lose the war is because when it rains, prophecy appears in the reflection of the water on the stones. And then she talks about how, like, she wants to destroy the statue because she thinks that'll undo the prophecies. And so she said, in the end, they're like, but our future is our own. Nothing is set in stone. And I was like, good pun. Nothing set in stone. Prophecy stones.
The other ones, I'll be honest with you, I've watched a bit of them. Episode 6, The Spy Dancer, really nice, cool animation. Quite enjoyed it, but it was a little jarring for me, the animation, but still watchable.
You thought it was fine, like a million stormtroopers getting killed or getting tossed around.
It was fine. It was fine. Episode 7 was the Hindu one. The one where the two Hindu characters are trying to find refuge, and kind of like in Kenobi, like with the hidden path, hiding Force users. And they come across an Inquisitor who, is chasing them, and the whole thing ends with a fight with this Hindu grandmother who fucks his ass up. And I thought that one was pretty cool. Very simple, like you said. The Pit, I actually liked. I thought it was really nice, like the animation style. Just as the Empire is conquered, a large group of Imperial slaves are forced to dig a giant pit in the middle of the desert for kyber crystals, which the stormtroopers used to build a nearby city. That one was fine. That one was pretty cool too. I didn't mind it. Episode 9, I'll admit, I did skip because that was a very kiddie one that was just clearly for children. Obviously, I'm not the demographic, so I'm not going to give it a shot. I'm assuming you skimmed through the rest.
Yeah, the same. Yeah.
You feel the same way?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, I think last season it was the same, where they sort of like led with their strong ones, and then it kind of like they kind of peter out, and I think they kind of do the same this season as well.
I think this is a pretty successful one. If they're going to do season 3, I'm hopeful for
it. They will.
Well,
this is I'm positive they will.
Kathleen Kennedy said they wanted to cut back the amount of Star Wars they're putting out every year, which I hope that's only for the live action stuff and not like the animation stuff, because I think we need more animation, specifically like in episode 5. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully...
I'm just thinking like something like this where you can, oh my God, like I'm just thinking from a business standpoint, like you get to essentially just like this is all subcontracting. You don't have to do anything. You just essentially have some money and you go, okay, like we're going to find, 9 affordable houses around the world who will do something pretty cheaply because they want to get their name out there. And then, you send it to us and then we just fucking pop it online. Disney in America is doing nothing except cutting a check here. Like, it's just so...
You're not wrong.
It's so easy for them.
You're not wrong. Season 1 was mostly Japanese animation studios. Season 2, it's all over the world. Episode 9, Ao's Song, the one that's very kiddie, that was done by Triggerfish, which is located in South Africa. I was going to say South Korea. It's down in South Africa. Episode 5, the one I liked, Studio Mir, located in South Korea. Episode 4, I Am Your Mother, the one about the Twi'leks racing. That one is Ardman. That one's located in the UK. The one that you liked, Cartoon Saloon, Screecher's Reach, that is Ireland. And I think El Guri, the animation studio El Guri, I think that is... Fuck, I forgot where they're located. But it's most likely a Hispanic-based... Spanish animation studio. So, yeah, I kind of like that they went off and, had new people come in and do it. There was less of a Japanese feel to it and more of a,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These ones actually felt, plot-wise, these felt more connected to the Star Wars universe than last season. Last season's felt like they really went outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
These stories felt like they could exist in the Star Wars universe at a particular time in history.
100%.
While the first season felt like no, these could never happen. These are like Star Wars inspired. While this season felt a little more in line.
Before we wrap this up, there is one thing I wanted to get to, but I know it's a little late for you. You highlighted this on the stream last time I was on with you, but this thing about how George Lucas really got in his own way in regards to episode 1 with the original script of how, Anakin was a little older and Obi-Wan was there for the most part. There was almost no Qui-Gon. But we'll have to get to that later. I know it's a little late for you. Do you mind if we wrap it up here?
Sounds good.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.